Hello there. I sense something in your possession. You're carrying the pieces of the last Dragon Rider staff. Now that you've gotten all the pieces of the staff and a new crystal head, you can create your own Dragon Rider staff. Go inside the pyromancy school. In there, you can use the fire forge to assemble the pieces of the staff and forge your own Dragon Rider staff.
On the hot metal of the fire forge, you assemble the staff. You then attach the crystal head to the staff.
You've done it! That's the finest Dragon Rider stuff I've ever seen, to be certain. I can't believe that another Dragon Rider has risen from the Academy, especially an outsider like you. With the Dragon Master down at the hatchery may be able to help you if he can. Please, go speak with him.
It's good to see you again. I see that much has changed about you. You've got a Dragon Rider staff! I can hardly believe it. We must find you a Drake at once! The mother Drake still watches over the hatchery, even after all this time. She'll know if there are any Drake eggs left.
Welcome to the hatchery. I suspect I know why you're here. Many have come to this place, seeking my children. But you are the first in so long a time. I have secured my clutch of eggs within the house, further within the hatchery. I can sense that only a few remain, though I do not know where they rest. If you would become a Dragon Rider, go there and find one of the last few Drake eggs.
You have obviously come for the egg, but you will not get it from me! The time of the Dragon Riders is over! Never again will wing touch sky!
You find a drake egg.
You found one. It is a sacred trust you hold there. In that egg, you hold the drake's life. Once, others would have dealt with hatching it, but now the duty has fallen to you alone. So listen to my counsel, and you will soon have a fine drake to ride. First, the egg must be warmed in the purest fire. But Dragonspire's flames have all fallen cold, and now the only pure fire in the spiral is to be found in Wizard City. Go now to the cave near the Golem Tower.
You warm the egg in the pure fires.
Even now I can feel the baby drake stirring inside, warming to life. A drake's egg is hard and tough and cannot be easily broken. For this, we must aid the young drake. To this end, those in the hatchery use a sacred crystal hammer to crack the drake eggshell so the drakeling can break through. This hammer was taken by the Gallium Juggernaut. Go and find it, and take from it the crystal hammer we require. You have recovered for us the sacred crystal hammer. The hatching must take place on the center platform, but that place is now guarded by the forces of darkness. Go, wizardling, and face the one who keeps you from your sacred duty to hatch a new drake. When Snow Crusher is defeated, place the drake egg upon the central platform and use the crystal hammer on it.
You use the hat.
Thank you. I am pleased to meet you.
You have hatched a drake egg, brought new life to this quiet, cold place. Congratulations, young wizard, and my eternal gratitude. Though I birthed the egg and you hatched it, the young drake must now learn our ways from all of the mother drakes. It is the tradition of our kind that our wisest mothers guide us from birth. Go and speak with the 2 other mother drakes in the hatchery. They will impart upon you valuable words of wisdom to teach your new drake.
Too long have the lessons I teach been unheard. I tell you then, to heed these words, for they are to be honored. A drake flies swift and true and without doubt. Fear is the cold enemy. A drake's heart burns fierce and brutal. Take these words of wisdom to the new drake.
As is our tradition, tell the young drake these words of wisdom. Honor is the wind upon which we ride. Without honor, we cannot soar. To lose honor is to plummet to the earth. Take these words back to the drake's mother, and then to the new drake itself.
And now I speak the final words of wisdom, those that apply to both Dragon Rider and young Drake. The bond you share is for life, though your paths may split and you may be worlds apart. From the rider, the Drake takes compassion, and from the Drake, the Dragon Rider takes a spark of fire for warmth in dark times. You have done well and brought joy to this place. We have other lessons to teach the new Drake. Go now to speak to the Dragon Master. He can help you now.
You again? What news do you bring? What? You hatched an egg? I'd never dare to dream so. The young drake cannot fight, not yet. Its scales have not hardened. It must have armor and learn the fighting ways of dragonkind. The spirit of the Drake Smith can help us, if it can be found. Go to the forum and see if he can be raised.
Who are you? Can you not leave me to my sorrows in this place of ruin? You're not from the Titan army, are you? What's that? You carry a dragon rider's staff? I can smell drakes on you. You've just helped the new drake hatch? I'm honored to meet you. If you want to become a dragon rider, you must understand our traditions and our methods. It is no small thing to control a drake in combat. Go to the first room of the forum and read the great tome of Dragon Rider history.
You read the great tome of Dragon Rider history. It is a huge book, full of the stories of epic battles, the heroes of the Dragon Riders and their mighty drakes.
Excellent. You now bear with you the weight of our greatest prize, our history. Don't think that your studies are done, young Dragon Rider. There are far more lessons to be learned before we would dare let you ride a drake. Go into the second room of the forum and read the second knowledge crystal, the one called the Care and Feeding of Dragonkind.
You read The Care and Feeding of Dragonkind, a comprehensive guide to all you would need to know to keep your drake healthy and well.
Excellent. No matter how much time you spend with your drake, it is essential to know how to care for it. The third knowledge crystal you must read is the most important. It will explain how to guide your drake into battle. You will learn how to stay in the saddle and how to avoid falling to your doom. This knowledge crystal is kept in the third room of the amphitheater. Go now and read it, and when you're finished, you will be ready to take wing.
The knowledge crystal is nowhere to be found.
The crystal is missing? Are you certain? That is unfortunate. Lessons contained within. I suspect I know where the knowledge crystal has gone. Crisis came to the forum some time ago, attempting to learn our ways. We granted him access to our knowledge crystals, including the fundamentals of dragon riding, but he was instructed not to remove them from the forum ground. Crisis may still be around. If you can find him, force him to surrender that knowledge crystal.
Crisis, secrets of dragon riding are mine to use.
Again, you surprise me with your dedication. Thank you for recovering this knowledge crystal from the thief who took it. Now that you've recovered the fundamentals of dragon riding, please return it to the pedestal in the third room of the amphitheater. With the knowledge crystal returned to its rightful place, it's time to read.
You read The Fundamentals of Dragon Riding, a step-by-step guide to mounting, riding, and guiding your drake. It is a big book and covers a lot of ground, but there are helpful diagrams and lots of examples.
You've now learned all of the stored knowledge there is about dragon riding. I'll bet you we've spent enough time dwelling on the past. Now that you know history, it's time to make a new future. We must forge armor for your new drake. The first step is to relight the forge, cold all these years. To light it, we need fuel and flame. For fuel, you must defeat fang-toothed lava spinners and take from them their coal hearts. The flame must come from the flame sacks of burning flame wings.